You've probably heard about table frequency before, but do you know how to make one and understand it? So, in this topic today, we're gonna learn all of that. And before we go into it, let's learn first what is statistics. Statistics is a branch of applied mathematics that involves the collection, description, analysis, and interference on conclusions from quantitative data. Now that we've learned about statistics, let's move on to frequency data. So, a frequency table is a method or organizing raw data in a compact form by displaying a series of scores in ascending or descending order together with their frequencies. We use table frequency to analyze categorical data and for screening data for data entry errors. What is the advantages of making a frequency table? The first one is rapid data visualization. Frequency tables can quickly reveal outliers and even significant trends within a data set with not much more than a cursory inspections. For example, a teacher might display students' grades for a midterm on a frequency table in order to get a quick look at how her class is doing overall. The number in the frequency column would represent the number of students receiving that grade. For a class of 25 students, the frequency distribution of letter grades received might look something like this. Grade frequency A, 7, B, 13, C, 3, and D, 2. The second advantage is visualizing relative abundance. Frequency tables can help researchers to examine the relative abundance of each particular target data within their sample. Relative abundance represents how much of the data set is comprised of the target data. Relative abundance is often represented as a frequency histogram, but can easily be displayed in a frequency table. For example, with the added column that displays the percent occurrence of each grade, you can easily see that more than half of the class scored a B without having to scrutinize the data in much detail. Of data may not be readily apparent in a frequency table. The skewness tells you which direction your data tends towards. If grades were displayed across the x-axis of a graph showing the frequency of midterm grade for our 25 students above, the distribution would skew toward the A's and B's. While kurtosis tells you about the central peak of your data, whether it would fall in line of normal distribution, which is a nice moved bell curve, or be tall and sharp. How to make a frequency table. Let's say you survey a number of households and find out how many pets they owned. The results are 301, 441, 202, 2020, 1312, 113. Looking at these numbers really boggles the eye. A frequency table will make the data easier to understand. To make the frequency distribution table, first write the categories in one column, which is the number of pets. Next is to tally the numbers in each category from the result before. For example, the number 0 appears 4 times in the list, so we put 4 tally marks in the column. And finally, we count up the tally marks and write the frequency in the final column. The frequency is just the total, so we have 4 tally marks for 0, so put 4 in the last column. Now, the next one is class intervals or groups. To better understand this, here's an example on how to do a table. The range result from the men's javelin throw at the Tokyo Olympics. The results were as follows, as you can see here. To construct a frequency table, we proceed as follows. So, the smallest data value, which is 28, and the highest data value, 217. To find the difference, we subtract highest value and smallest value together. So, 217 subtracted by 28 is equals to 189. And then, let the width of the class interval be 40. So the number of class interval is equals to 189 divided by 40 equals to 4.7. Then we round it up to the next integer, so it equals to 5. First step on doing the frequency table is to construct a table with 3 columns, as you can see in this picture below. And then write the data groups or class intervals in the first column. The size of each group is 40, so the groups will start at 0, 40, 80, and 120, 160, and 200 to include all of the data. Note that in fact we need 6 groups. The second step is to go through the list of data values. So for the first data value in the list, 28, place a tally mark against the group 0 to 39 in the second column. For the second data value in the list, which is 122, place a tally mark against the group 120 till 159 in the second column. For the third data value in the list, 217, place a tally mark against the group 200 till 239 in the second column. The third and final step is to count the numbers of tally marks. Count the number for each group and write it in the third column. The finished frequency table is as follows, as you can see in the picture below. Overall, a frequency distribution table displays the frequency of each data set in an organized way. From the examples above, we have learned to find patterns in the data and also enables us to analyze the data using measures of central tendency and variance. This is what a mathematician does with the collected data, is to organize it in the form of a frequency table. All the calculations and statistical tests and analysis comes later. That's all for our topic today, and thank you very much. I hope that this topic that I present would help people to use frequency table more often to sort data. That's all, and goodbye.